Hi, and welcome to something new. This is a game that I've been sent a free key for. It's called War of Wizards, and I'm not entirely sure what genre of game you would call it, but it's a sort of, I think it's intended to be player versus player mostly. You kind of do the whole wizard thing, creating spells, drawing them in the air, all this kind of stuff. You have to learn them. There's a bunch of spells that you can kind of earn or something like that. I'm not entirely sure how to describe it. A bit of full disclosure, I actually watched Croy VR play this on his Twitch channel. Oh, it must be like a week, maybe 2 weeks ago. And he was kind of offering another key if anyone wanted to try the player versus player online play and everything. And like he asked me if I wanted to grab a key. And having watched him play this, I was, I don't know, this doesn't look like my kind of thing. So to be fair to the game and everything, I'm kind of going into this having watched Croy's stream and like thinking, I'm not entirely sure this is my kind of game. Also, he did run into a few issues. I don't know if they've been addressed in the version that I've been offered. The issues that he ran into, I anticipate are issues I'm going to run into as well. So if it if it seems like I'm stealing Croy's homework, and kind of not, I'll be running into similar issues. Kind of the main problems he had was like very unbalanced gameplay to start off with. Also, the game seemed to expect you to have an awful lot of space to play in. Now, if I kind of point there, that's the left-hand side of my play space, that's the front of my play space, that's the right-hand side of my play space, and that's the back of my play space there. I have, I don't know, maybe... I've never really actually measured it, maybe 1.5 meters by 1.5 meters or whatever I play in. So I tend to play standing, or some games obviously sitting, and I have some space for movement. There's plenty of games I've played that involve dodging and stuff like that, that I have enough room. Croy, as far as I can tell, has way more space than I do, and yet, struggle to play this. But all of that said, I kind of felt it's a genre of game that I've not really played before, especially not in VR. And I had the offer of the key, so I thought I'd give it a fair shot. The idea being that this industry, this kind of VR gaming, PCVR gaming, and everything. Although looking around at this, I imagine this would work native on the Quest as well if it was ported that way. I feel it only grows if, there is feedback from people with different tastes, different skills, different age ranges and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm approaching it that way. I'm a little concerned that the moon is so weirdly squashed. That's not very round, is it? Anyway, so I've come in, I've done the tutorial, which kind of went okay. At the same time, I was a little confused by some stuff. I feel like there was a bit too much of a fast dump of information on me in the tutorial, and there was something about the tutorial that kind of left me a bit like, I'm not excited by this. Some games you get in, you start playing them, and they're really exciting and they really get in your head, and the mechanic and everything feels compelling. This didn't do that, but I'm going to give it a fair shot. So let's have a look. Ooh, there was a big jitter there. Okay, so I can choose my avatar and I can choose my staff. I like that one. What we got? Okay, so we've got 4 avatars to choose from. I'm going to go with her because she's got black hair. I like that. Oh, at least we can turn round. But yeah, apparently we can't change the outfit or anything by the looks of things. Okay, so presumably that's my avatar, so that's cool. So we've got player versus player and player versus environment. I'm not entirely sure I know what the difference is, but in terms of this game, I don't know what the difference is. So I'm going to, let's have a look. Why did you pull up options? I clicked on that. Oh, it's doing a match. Okay, cancel that. So I'm going to do PvE. Normal mode or hard mode? Let's go normal mode. I would have expected...
Welcome to War of Wizards.
Okay. So PvE is basically PvP with a bot, which is what I expected. An option... I expected to have that option in... Right.
Ready for battle.
I expected to have that
3,
option in
2,
PvP, just
1.
like... It's not what I call... Whoa! Okay. So I'm just going to start off... Just going to try and kill the bot normally. Oh, he's drawing spell. So I'm just spamming the A button at the moment. He's trying to... Right, he deployed some kind of spell. So let's try drawing a spell. I can't remember what... Ow. No. Okay, so he's shooting at me. And I'm trying to dodge him. I can't... yet. So this is one of the first problems that Croy ran into was... let's see if I can draw a spell. The dodging was just so difficult. There wasn't enough...
Great!
Right, okay. So how do I do that now? There we go. Right, so I drew a spell, I couldn't remember what it was. Right, so this thing's getting in the way, which is probably helping me. So I drew a spell and there we go. I deployed the spell. But I feel like I don't quite know what's going on. Oh, he's got another spell on the go. Ow. Can I see what my health is? Is that my health? The green bar is my health, isn't it? Okay.
You have killed the enemy.
I killed the enemy, that's
Kill
good.
reward. Your team sends an extra squad of minions.
Let's do another spell if I can.
Good.
Now, how do I deploy this? No, not like that. Okay. I've created fire in front of me, but I don't know what to do with it.
You have destroyed the enemy turret.
Oh, okay. So, it should have been trigger. So let's try... Oh, I can't do it for a period of time yet. Ow, he hit me in the face. And again.
Great!
Okay, that's good. And then I'm going to deploy that. Okay, so it goes there. Even though I was aiming there, it goes there for reasons. Why did he come from behind me? So apparently I can't shoot through this thing, but the bot I'm taking on can. So I'm just spamming the A button at the moment. Ah, see, look, he shot through the... So that doesn't seem fair. This big rock monster thing is in the way. I'm spamming my main weapon against him. Right, what can we do? What we got? Healing spell. Summon a dragon. That looks like a really tricky one to try, but let's try that. Okay, so it's kind of like that, like that, like that. There. That's not great. There. There we go. Okay, so this is another annoying thing with this, I'm noticing. So I've made an attempt, alright? There was an attempt. I've tried to draw a spell. Now what? Like, there should be a way of me being able to say, okay, I've tried my spell, grade it, please. But no.
You have been killed.
Okay, so now I'm just going to stand around and wait to respawn. I'm not feeling this game. I'm really not feeling it. So yeah, I just stand here and watch now while stuff unfolds before me. More generally, I kind of like the environment. I like how it looks. It's a bit arcadey, cartoony, that kind of thing, but it feels right for this kind of game. But I'm not really feeling the game itself. It's not, yeah, and like dodging his shots. I feel like my hitbox is way too big. What's really weird is my hitbox seems to be a bit lopsided if I'm reading this correctly as well. Because like, he fired at me and something went past my left hand side and there, I dodged it and it hit me. If I dodged the same amount to the right, he missed. Okay, so I've killed the enemy. Right.
Kill reward. Your
So
team sends an extra squad of minions.
Right, so I'm going to try and draw this dragon again. So like that. Like that. Like that. The actual drawing as well is a little bit annoying in that you don't draw where you're pointing. And then like that, and like that.
Great!
Yay! I've got a dragon. Just in time. Okay. Spawned a dragon. Well, that's cool.
Victory!
Hey! That's the cutest dragon I've ever seen. So... I don't know. It's a clever idea. I like it, actually. I'm surprised at how much I like the idea. Having, watched Croy play through this, I was like, oh, I'm not so sure that this would be my kind of thing. Actually, now I'm sort of into it. I feel it would be fun to play. I feel like the spell drawing thing misses the point. Having this big ass staff doesn't feel right. Do you know what I'd sooner have is I'd sooner have just my hands and I'm drawing it with my finger in front of me. I want to feel a little bit more Doctor Strange than the bloody annoying horrible other thing written by that terrible woman. And I kind of feel like if I could use my hands, have both my hands and sort of draw the spell in front of me or whatever, I'd feel a bit more immersed in this. I'd feel I was more present in the game. The problem, as I said, is like when I'm drawing the spell with the staff, I'm not even drawing where I'm pointing. It's I'm pointing with my other hand, but if you go back a little bit, you'll have noticed that I'll be pointing that way, but there's like this cursor in the air that is where I'm drawing, which isn't where the tip is pointing. So it's okay, but it's not quite my thing. So I have 351 coins. Presumably I can buy things, but yes, not. That's the sum total of things I can apparently buy, and they're all out of my price range. Okay, fair enough. I feel like there should be something more in my price range just to, get me going, kind of thing. So I can choose other spells. What we got? So I'm hovering over it and it's not telling me what the spell is. If I click on it, it tells me what the spell is. Okay, that's fair. So a blizzard spell. Summons blizzard that lasts for 4.5, 5.25, 6 and 7.5 seconds. And why all the different size of it? Okay, so the size of it controls how long the spell lasts for, and the accuracy controls the effect of it. Alright, that's fair. I like that idea. That's kind of cool. So we've got hurricane spell. So the dragon one was kind of cool, but a pain in the ass to draw. So what's that? Summon a fire element. So what's that one? A fireball versus a fire element. What's the difference? I'm liking this. I'm liking the fact that you got all the information and it shows you how to draw it as well. So that's kind of cool. So what does that do? Okay, so that one pops out a... Let's swap that one in there. Okay, so I've created a battle group. Well, I had a battle group anyway, but that's cool. It's a Blizzard spell. I wish there was a way of kind of fast forwarding this, because I don't really need to watch how to draw it. I want to see what it does. So that one, you drop it on the enemy, although that looks like he dropped it on his own guys, which is an interesting choice. Alright, I'm going to have one more go. How do I feel about this so far? It's kind of okay. Does that help, or is that tutorial? I feel like there should be... I'm a bit scared to click on that, because if it takes me into a tutorial and I can't get out of it. Yeah, let's do PV again. Hard mode. I know I won last time, but I kind of feel like I didn't really know what was going on.
Welcome to War of Wizards.
Normal bot, as opposed to what?
Ready for battle.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Right. Hang on, that's not the spell, is it? That I... Didn't I have a different
Minions
spell?
have spawned.
I thought I'd loaded up a different spell in my battle group.
Good.
Okay, got him. I'm sure I loaded up a different spell in my battle group though. The dodging in this is horrible though. Right, I've nearly got his health down, so if I can just take his health out, I can then probably... Right, so definitely dodge that. So dodging to the... Yeah, my hitbox is weirdly off-center. And the dodging doesn't seem to work well. Right, okay, so let's draw another spell. So let's try the dragon again.
Your team sends an extra squad of minions.
Okay. So we'll do that. Do that. That didn't quite match up. Do that. Do that. That's sort of matched up, and then it's up, down, and around like that.
Good.
Yay! Yeah, come on. Let me actually use it now. Okay. Right, so the dragon attacks my opponent. Yeah, I'm not liking the dodging. The dodging in this is bad. I'm just gonna... While my dragon's attacking the opponent, I'm going to attack that thing that he put out there. Oh, there's two. There's two of those things out there. The dodging is so hard. Ow, I didn't even see that coming. Didn't see that one coming either. I feel like dodging needs to work better. Okay, let's try throwing this again. So we'll do that, do that, do that, do that, do that, and do that.
Good.
Okay, and then it's like that, and we're going to take that thing on there. Ah, no, okay. So I can draw the fire spell again, I can use it straight away. Okay, so that's not so bad.
Excellent.
Damn right it's excellent. Oh, dodge.
One of your turrets has been destroyed.
Oh no. Can I take his turret out? Okay, so I can apparently do some damage to his turret, I think. He's drawing another spell. What's he drawing? spawn something. Oh! Right, he's dead.
You have killed the enemy. Kill reward. Your team sends an extra squad of minions.
I'm not sure about that wing.
Good.
Right, give me a big ass dragon. I feel like the dragon should be bigger.
You have destroyed the enemy turret.
Okay, so now what happens? I'm a little unclear as to what the end game...
Victory.
Okay, yeah, there we go. I'm really unclear as to what the end game is. Because, like, I destroyed his turret, so I'm not sure what caused the actual victory to occur there. So he earned more... I won the game, but he earned more coins. I'm sure there's a reason for that. I'm sure there's a really good reason for that. Oh, do you know what? I don't think I hit save, did I? So I dragged that in there. But I bet I didn't hit save. That's a really weird choice. I kind of feel like the save button's unnecessary. I don't know why you'd drag something down there and then not hit save. Or rather, I don't know why you drag something down there and then need to hit save. That's a really weird choice. I know I said one more go, but actually I'm going to try once more. I don't know how I feel about this. The more I play it, the more I'm actually enjoying it. And I feel being present in the game it does make it a bit more fun. Having, as I said, having watched Croy's stream of this, it just looked slightly annoying and frustrating and not a very rewarding thing to play. Actually being in here is more fun. I just noticed there's a dodgy character in their text there. I wonder if that's a tab or something like that that's in there. I feel like they need to fix that. But actually being in it is kind of more enjoyable. It's still not, I don't know, I feel like it needs to be more dynamic. I feel like they need to lose the staff. The staff doesn't really add much to it. I want hands. I want to be casting spells with hands. You know, I want to have to do a Doctor Strange kind of thing where I've got to make some movements and then I, you know, push the spell out, that kind of thing. That would be kind of cool. I'd really, really, really enjoy that. Imagine drawing the spell in front of you, but using your hands, then holding the grip button, because that's how you seem to deploy a spell. And then part of the power is like how much you push, whoa, I nearly fell over then, how much you push the spell out or something like that, if it's a kind of fireball spell or whatever. I think this is the thing, is even though there is some interaction in the game, there's not much to it. There's not much interaction. It's spamming the A button to fire at the bot at the other end, and then picking your moment to do, you know, to draw something and then deploy. And mostly, I don't know, it's kind of like a slightly interactive board game maybe, in that stuff's happening on the board in front of me. Okay, we'll give it one more go. Finding it cute.
War of Wizards.
I feel like it's not a great choice making the easy and hard slightly gendered looking. I wouldn't have gone with that as a choice. Right, okay. Let's go straight in. 3, and
2, 1.
Like that, like that, like that, like that. That's a terrible triangle.
Good.
Okay, that worked. And we're going to... Oh, he's done a dragon already. Ah, what? Oh, yes. No, well, I'm being... Right, so how do I... Can I dodge the dragon? Apparently I kind of can. So, I'm not understanding where my hitbox is. So I'm kind of avoiding the dragon to some degree. And then not. Okay, that got rid of the dragon. Right, healing spell. Let's do a healing spell. I don't know if it heals me or heals my guys. Oh, I don't know what happened there. No, it's not. So this is really annoying. This is really frustrating. I finished drawing. I feel like there should be a way of me saying, look, that's my attempt. Please assess me.
You have been killed.
I'm really hating the hitbox in this. It's not at all obvious where my hitbox is. The other thing is, I seem to remember Cry mentioned this, and I'm noticing it as well, is the voice is really crackly. There's some really weird crackly artifacts in the voiceover. Right, let's see if we can do a dragon. Even though I'm being shot at massively. Do you know, it's the most complex
has been destroyed.
looking thing to do, but
Crystal is under attack.
it's apparently it's apparently the spell I'm most capable of drawing. Can I take these guys on? Oh, I can. Oh, they come to attack me. Oh, so is the end game actually attacking my podium or whatever it is that's down there? It looks like it is. Ah, I haven't picked up on that. Can I attack his? I'm in deep trouble here. For some reason I'm losing massively this time. I seem to have had a bit of an advantage before.
Excellent.
Right. I'm kind of on the attack now, he's on the defense. I wonder if I can pull this back. So I'm apparently knocking 25 off his turret every time, but I'm not sure what that is. 25 what? Which way is that going? Yeah, so I leaned right out of the way of that shot, and he's going to do a dragon. He's doing a dragon. Oh, yep, no, he's doing it. Get ready, dragon.
You have killed the enemy. Kill reward. Your team sends an extra squad of minions.
Yeah, I'm really not understanding the hitbox in this. It just doesn't make sense. Because like that dragon was, one time it would shoot at my feet, as it were.
You have destroyed the enemy turret. Good.
And it would miss, and then it would shoot in the same place again and get a hit. What's he making? Couldn't quite make out what he made there. Yeah, I definitely dodged to the left as much as I dodged to the right earlier. Right, so I'm leaning a lot further now. Whoa, okay, that went straight at me, that's fair. Got him.
You have killed the enemy. Kill reward. Your team sends an extra squad of minions. Good.
This dodging thing as well, I feel like there'd be a real problem with playing seated in this game. It advertises itself as you can play seated, as well as stood, as well as kind of free roam, as it were. Yeah, room scale is the word I'm looking for. The need to dodge in this, especially given how unforgiving the dodging is, suggests that seated is not really an option. Right, so my guys are taking on his podium thing. I got some more guys that come out. Right, he's deployed someone. He's taking on my guys. So can I take on his guys? So I can't take on his podium now. Let's see if we can get another dragon out to help us.
Excellent.
Damn right, that was excellent. Right, I'm kind of on the defense again. So let me do another spell. See, look, I've tried drawing a spell there. Okay, okay. So I think hitting the grip is the assess this.
Great. Defeat.
Okay. And that was just as I lost my podium thing in front of me, so I think that was it. Okay, so I think actually hitting the grip sort of goes, alright, I've tried. Let's just go back so then. The other interesting thing is, I realise I'm skipping around in my head. Global volume, yeah, so I turned the music down, but actually there's definitely times in the game where the music doesn't seem to observe that at all. What was I saying? Yeah, so actually pressing the grip seems to be the button I was after. That wasn't entirely clear to me, but it looks like I can do the drawing of the spell, then hit the grip, and that will either tell me, yes, I'm done, or no, that's a rubbish spell. So I am going to have one more go. So let's put that in there, because I just want to try that out.
Welcome to War of Wizards.
Yeah, there's definitely crackling in the voice. That's weird.
Ready
Right.
for battle.
Let's go for it.
3, 2, 1.
Like that, like
The
that,
minions have
and
spawned.
like that, and then press.
Excellent.
Yes, okay. Right, let's set that going. Let's do a dragon. Not going to be such a big dragon this time. He's blinded me apparently. But I can still do my...
Great.
So I don't know what's going on. But I've got a dragon out as well, so that's good. Right, I can draw another one of these. So let's do that and do that. Hit the grip. Inaccurate pattern, okay. So go around again. Like that. Like that. Again, inaccurate pattern. Okay. I'm going to ignore the fact that I'm being shot up massively because I'm just concentrating on trying to spellcast. Inaccurate pattern. Interesting. Okay, that's a bit more pancake shaped. Inaccurate pattern. I got this first time and then, yeah, it's not letting me have it anymore for some reason. That's a fairly accurate pattern.
Excellent.
No, that was pretty bad. And yet, it actually let me have that one. Okay, let's it's blinded me again. Well, I'm just gonna draw my dragon because that's my favourite one. That wasn't inaccurate. Oh, come on.
You have been killed.
Oh, graphics have gone a bit weird. So apparently being killed while dying gets rid of the darkness, but does weird stuff. I'm seeing weird artifacts up there as well as I glance down, and kind of, it may not show up, but like some of the game area is showing if I look down, and I can see it at the top of my vision.
One of your turrets has been destroyed. A crystal is under attack.
So apparently I'm back now? Yeah, I'm back, but it's not drawing the game for me anymore. So apparently being killed while blind messes up the game. So can I... Yeah, I can draw spells, but I can't actually see the game arena anymore, which is an interesting choice.
Excellent.
So I'm now playing a game I can't see.
Excellent.
Interesting. There's a definite bug.
Excellent.
Yeah, I got to look up and I can just see a little bit further. Yeah, there's not much I can do at this point really. Like, I'm taking part, but I got no real idea of what's happening out there.
Great.
So I've sent out a whirlwind, apparently. Can I do the healing spell? Ah, he's blinded me again. Oh, I can't even see the top of my spell.
Great.
Right, I've healed. Hey, the game's back. Okay, so apparently if you get killed while you're blinded, you can't see the game anymore until you're blinded again. Definite bug.
Great.
How is that accurate? I've done more accurate drawings of that before, I'm sure. Once you get used to the fact that you're drawing with that little cursor thing in front of you as opposed to...
Excellent. You have destroyed the enemy turret.
As opposed to drawing with the tip of the staff. It does... Whoa. What was that? Oh, he's blinded me again. It does get a bit easier. Can I draw... I forgot what I can draw now. I've forgotten all of my spells that I deployed. I'm just kind of dodging and hoping. Oh, I can just see them in the dark actually. I could just see them. Inaccurate pattern.
Excellent.
Oh, I did that a bit too close to him. I was trying to get it on his guys. Oh! Oh, dodge, no.
You have been killed.
I'm deaded. So I've got to wait quite a while. This waiting thing does really kill the momentum of the game. I think I can see why it makes sense. You've got that thing of if you can actually kill your opponent, it's going to take them time to, I don't know, revive themselves, bring themselves back to this world or whatever, however we do that. Headcanon. Oh, I'm about to be defeated. There we go. Okay. But having to just sit there and watch destroys the momentum of the game. I think this would probably be more fun playing against another actual real player. So how do I feel about this? I think that's enough of this now. How do I feel about this? Despite my initial impressions having watched someone else play it and just thinking, God, that's going to be so boring to play, actually it's kind of fun. I see the fun in it. I feel, as I said, the actual creation of the spells and everything, it could be a bit more dynamic. I don't know. I can see why they're going for the staff thing and everything, but I feel like if I could use my hands to do the drawing and everything, I'd feel a bit more immersed in the game. I'd feel a bit more present. It would feel a bit more, yeah, I'd feel more involved. The voiceovers are kind of annoying because they're really crackly. It sounds like my headset's breaking or something like that. That's not great. The death mechanic where you have to sit and just watch things for a while sort of breaks the pace. I can see why they're doing it. I can absolutely see why they're doing it. And I'm not sure how I'd go about doing that. Maybe if when you die you have to do something to revive yourself. There's a bring myself back to life spell you have to draw or something like that. Because otherwise I'm just stood here for, how long was that time? Like 35 seconds. I'm just stood here for 35 seconds watching the game unfold in front of me. At which point, yeah, I'm just stood here, hands by my side, right, fine. And I'm not involved in the game. That seems like a big mistake. The game looks really good, actually. I feel like graphically it makes sense given what it is. In here, yeah, it looks like you can buy more spells. I feel like there should be... I feel like to get you feeling like you're involved in the game and everything, there should be some spells that are actually really affordable after the first couple of games. There should have been something that was like 100 coins and something that was like 300 coins, something that was 500 coins. Yeah, so maybe some of these spells that I start out with would be very affordable and easy to buy, just so you feel like you're kind of getting into the game already and you're sort of built, you're getting to choose what you want and all that kind of stuff. That would have made more sense to me. I also feel like with the avatar thing, maybe they're going to improve this, maybe they're going to change this, but like, part of the fun of games like this when you have an avatar is you get to choose your avatar. I don't mean necessarily actually design your avatar from top to toe, but like it would be nice if you could, choose the outfit or something like that. That would be kind of cool. Yeah, it's part of the fun, especially if you're going to be playing PvP against actual real other people. Having just 4 avatars with 1 outfit each isn't fun. It's not a great... If you're going to be playing against other people, you want to really express your own personality, and that would be a lot of fun. I like games where you get to design avatars as like part of the fun. Would I recommend this in its current state? No, I wouldn't. But I feel like there's a start of actually a really fun game. I'm surprised that I'm actually liking this. I thought I mean, I've been given games before that are not my kind of game, and I've tried to do the best I can to play it and review it and assess it as a game rather than something that's as my taste. And if I felt like the game isn't working for me, I hope I've done a good job of actually getting across that it's not my taste, and so I've probably not given it a fair shake. This, I came in suspecting it wasn't going to be to my taste, and actually I really am finding it is. If anything, I'm disappointed that it's not more this. It's not more of what it feels like it wants to be. I appreciate its early days. I don't even know if it's on sale yet. I think it's actually going to be released for sale in the next few days. I'm not sure it's quite in a date for an actual release. Maybe it's going to be made available early access or something like that. Often I just like get off of the game, I get in, I start playing it and recording that, and don't read that much behind it. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but I would also say if this keeps being developed, if more work is put into this, if some of the mechanics are refined in this, do you know, I was going to say if some of the spells are made a little easier to draw, but actually, like that, what's that one called? Tornado spell. That one I drew a few times and it went nap. And I'm sure I got it right. And then I kind of got it right. That one, for example, has really made me feel like the accuracy detection is a bit wonky. The dragon one, on the other hand, I was looking at it thinking that's really complicated, I should stay away from that. But that one actually proved really quite easy to draw. So I feel like the spell detection thing probably needs a wee bit more work. My initial thing of like, I wish there was a way of pressing a button and it would give you instant feedback. Turns out there is a way of doing that, so you hold the trigger to draw and then let go and hit the grip, and that will assess your spell there and then let you start using it. That's a great mechanic. I like that. I think that makes a lot of sense. I stand by my thing about like, I wish I actually had hands and I was drawing with hands, using my fingertip or something like that to guide the spell. Yeah, I like it actually. I'm not going to recommend it. I wouldn't actually leave a recommend. You see, the tricky thing is I actually do want to leave a review because I want to say positive things about it, but I wouldn't recommend anyone buying it quite yet. But also I wouldn't not recommend. Like if someone was to look at this and go, that looks like a ton of fun and the price is right, then yeah, get it, have a blast. And maybe the PvP thing, once there's actually people available to play against, that could make for a bit of fun. Just, two people stood opposite each other, talking shit about each other and like throwing spells at each other. I could see being quite fun. But yeah, it's not. Some games I've been given and they're like, oh yeah, this is a recommend. This is so good. This is promising. This is actually a good use of VR. And with more work, I think this could be a real winner. But I wouldn't say to someone, oh, do you know what? You got yourself a PCVR set up. Here's 10 games you should absolutely buy. This would not be on the list, not in its current state. There are far too many games that are more worthy of people's money and time and attention. But I also don't want to discourage the development of this because this is actually fun. And I think there's more to be had from this. And I can see myself playing this some more in the future. But just for fun, not as a. I don't know. The thing is like actually this is stream friendly, so I may actually end up streaming this at some point as well. I can see myself mucking about in it some more and just using it for streaming. And when I say stream friendly, I mean with my particular setup. It will allow me to pull up chat and have it kicking around and everything because it's actually going off on a side thing, but. Any game that actually shows up in as being actually in Steam VR in my headset, how can I explain it? With OBS, I have a VR record what's going to my headset from Steam VR thing. If the game shows up in that, if I can record using that, then it means I can pull up that and that means I can pull out a chat window from YouTube or whatever, and I can manage all that kind of stuff. Quite a few games don't work that way. I have to record the window that's on screen, and then I can't, pull up the actual Steam menu and all this kind of stuff, and it doesn't work. This does do that, as you just saw. So I can see myself streaming this. I can see myself practicing with the PvE, maybe even trying a few PvP things just, to kill an hour one evening while streaming. But I wouldn't say to someone, you must go and buy this soon. But devs, if you happen to watch this and you happen to have got this far, actually, this is fun. I like it. You need to sort out the audio issues with the voice. You need to sort out something with the hitboxes. For my avatar, there's something not quite right about that. It's not making sense. I don't seem to be having the problems I saw Croy have in terms of needing to really move around in his play space. I ultimately got to dodge quite a bit by actually standing still and just moving my head. But the actual hitbox thing wasn't consistent. As you saw, when I had the bot in front of me, sometimes they could shoot over my left shoulder and I could dodge, and then they'd be shooting over my right shoulder and I'd dodge the same amount, but it would hit me, or vice versa. And like when the opponent's dragon was shooting at me, sometimes it'd shoot down at my feet and miss, and then it'd shoot in the same spot and it would hit, and I'd be kind of doing a bit of a dodge, but it wasn't obvious how my head movement was translating into my virtual body dodging, if there was any virtual body dodging at all. So things like that need tidying up, things like that need cleaning up and being made more obvious. I like it though. I like it. It's actually charmed me in a way that I wasn't expecting, and I've got no idea why this flying whale, that doesn't seem to come into the game in any way, shape or form, but I'm actually liking it. I could sit here for a while and listen to this music in the background and watch that whale and kind of feel, chilled out about it. Anyway, from this first dip into War of Wizards, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.